Our next speaker is going to peel back the curtain on how you can triple your practice without breaking the bank. So please, everyone, put your hands together for Chris Earley.
Say it again. Forward. Green is forward. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. All right, how we doing? All right, so Ken gave me only 20 minutes, so I got to bang a lot of stuff into this. So I'm going to go kind of rapid fire here, give you as much content as I can, how I've tripled my business, my practice, become a CEO quickly in my firm the past 3 years. So I want to ask a show of hands, who here wishes their practice ran more smoothly? Raise them. Don't be shy. All right, put them down. Who wants to make some money, more money? All right, let's get to work. My name is Chris Earley. I'm the owner and founder of the Earley Law Group Injury Lawyers. We're in downtown Boston, a thriving, and I'm blessed to say a very thriving, growing firm. I've taken my licks. I've been punched in the face. I'm always getting punched in the face. I'm going to share some things that have helped me get up off the mat when I get punched in the face and grow my firm in hyper-competitive Boston. So this is all about a roadmap for running your law firm like a well-oiled machine, right? I think all of us here can agree we want things to be smoother, for us to be not in the weeds as much, removed, so we can make more money, have more time with our family, and not be as stressed as we sometimes tend to be. So I'm going to give you a roadmap. These are the elements. We're going to get into them. I've distilled these 5 elements that I think have moved the needle for me in the past 3 years to triple my firm. I've had a lot of growth. A large part of that is due to Ken Hardison, my membership in his mastermind group. All my mastermind brothers and sisters in this room, thank you for leveling me up, forcing me to be better. I encourage you to check out a mastermind group. If you're serious about growth, that's the way to do it, I've discovered, through a lot of trial and error. So we're going to go through mindset, empowering your team, delegation, accountability, speeding up cash flow. This is all about efficiency and speed so we can get to our money faster. Because the money came in during intake. The case is signed, say John Smith signed a retainer. The money's in the bank. I just got to get the money quickly so I can reinvest that into the firm to get more cases, right? This is about movement, and I'm really obsessed with customer service. It's about growing by referrals, but at the end of the day, like, I want things to move quickly so that I have more money to reinvest into the firm. All right, your mindset, right? We talked about mindset. Dubin did a really good job of talking about mindset. My mindset shifted a few years ago in the pandemic. I was in my man cave. It was me and one assistant working for me. I started reading success literature. I found my passion as a professional is this. This room is my passion. Like, this stuff lights me up, all right? This gets me going. This gets me up early in the morning to get my practice growing every day. So your mindset, it truly is like your superpower, right? Like, how you think impacts everything in your law firm. If you're a cynic, you're probably going to be disseminating cynical messaging through your firm. If you're an optimist, if you're positive, that's going to trickle down to your firm. People are going to be revved up to work for you, to help you make money. They feel like they're invested in something positive. So your mindset is critical. As I said before, I can't tell you how many times I say to my wife, I just want to burn the firm down. I'm so frustrated. It's not going the speed I want it to go. I'm just pissed. She's like, give it time, man. Like, give it time. And I can tell you, you got to be patient. Patience is crucial, but how you think impacts your whole entire organization, right? Everything you do. I have a podcast, the Earley Show podcast. One guest, one sentence really hit me in the face hard. Jennifer Gore Cuthbert was on the show, and she said, the way the business owner thinks impacts everything. Bill Biggs in the back talks about every problem is a leadership problem. If something is not good in your law firm, it's your fault. Once I adopted that, I'm like, oh, I got to get my head right, my approach right, because it's about me and my self-limiting beliefs and what my firm can do. So again, a few years ago, I started to get a little more broad-based thinking bigger, bolder, taking risks, and a lot of good things have happened, I'm fortunate to say. Let go of control. You know, a lot of lawyers in this room are type A, right? And I relate to that. But being type A doesn't grow a law firm. Being type A is just white knuckle, like, let's not, veer off the road too much. Let's go as fast as possible. But you have to let go of that You have to let go of that control. Don't be, all right, 1 second, there's a little lag here. All right, so let go of control. Here, I'm here in New Orleans for the week. I'm not checking in with my team. It's like a stress test. I said, don't reach out to me. I'm at a law firm conference trying to grow our firm so we all grow together. No one in my firm has reached out to me. There's no fires burning, right? The machine runs, and that's what this is about for me, having the machine run smoothly. So I'm no longer that lawyer 3 years ago, like not growing, have 1 assistant, overworked, stressed out, 2 kids. My wife stays home, it doesn't work. I got a lot of pressure on me, right? I got to figure out. I think letting go of control has been so magnificently helpful to me because I'm no longer limiting the firm's growth. So let go. As you sit in this room, try not to be so dialed into your business right now. Be dialed in to this room and the people around you, the brilliant minds that are surrounding this conference. Get a lot out of this. But the more that you can let go, I think it's Chad Dulley says, let go to grow, and boy, is that true. Don't micromanage, right? We all have a habit of having to peer over the shoulder of John or Betty doing their job. Like, let them run. Like, don't micromanage your team. That can be extremely detrimental to your firm's growth, right? Don't micromanage. If you do that, be honest with yourself and stop doing it because they pick up that energy and they don't like it. They may want to work somewhere else if they're getting micromanaged. So do not micromanage your team, right? Accept that mistakes will be made. When I accepted this reality, everything changed, right? Right now in my office in Boston, something is going poorly. Like someone's screwing something up, and I'm okay with that. I may get sued, a bar complaint. I'm going to be okay, right? I have really good people following really good systems, but like shit's going to happen sometimes. I'm okay with breakage. I'm okay with things not being perfect. So accept they're going to screw up. It's okay. So I think you need to know why you're doing what you're doing. My intention is to be less relevant because I want my firm to literally be, I want to delegate myself out of a job. That's my laser focus. That's why I have 4 different coaches right now, right? I'm really dialed in to that mission of getting my firm to be a self-sustaining running machine without me involved very much. But I think you got to stop being the bottleneck. Like I was the bottleneck. I was the lawyer for 15 years, and the firm was just, good growth, very, good income, but it was stagnating. And so I stopped being the bottleneck. The more I do that, the firm grows more and more. All right, step 2 in this roadmap, you got to empower your team. You can't have people running scared on your team. I have a paralegal, and I got the sense that she was sort of screwed to mess up. I was like, you need to just make decisions and screw up, and that's okay sometimes. I trust you. I do my homework on my job candidates. I run them through Jay Henderson's test. I put them through a gauntlet, so I know from the data she's an A player. I said, don't be afraid to mess up. It's okay. She's empowered, and then she's going to empower others below her, so then we have a well-running machine, right? So I don't want to be the decision maker. I want to make as few decisions as possible, right? I want to make like 3 decisions a day that are going to move this firm forward. I'm in hyper-competitive Boston, right? We're growing fast. I have to be maniacal about my time management, and that dovetails with making very few decisions. So I empower my team. If they ask me, what should I do? I put it back on them. What do you think we should do, right? That's what's really important. You want them making decisions. So as I'm standing here on this stage, people are making decisions in my firm without me, and that's what I'm talking about. That's what we want to grow. That's the magic sauce, and that's how we grow, right? Again, don't let them be scared of screwing up. I want them to think like owners. Like I want them to stay on the bus for a long time. I did so much work to find them and to make this the best place possible that they can work and thrive in. I want them to think like owners because then I'm not the only owner. I've got owners throughout the organization, right? Not just me. That's been super helpful. I want them having that mindset, and I preach that to them. They know where they stand with me. That's what I want from them. All right, delegation. I write a lot. I write for the American Bar Association. I write for numerous attorney publications. I do a lot of speaking. The biggest pain point with lawyers that I've discovered is delegation. Like it goes back to the type A thing. Like we can't let go. We have to do everything ourselves, right? We just said before, let go to grow. Delegate like a maniac, and I mean that literally. Delegate everything that you possibly can, because that's a CEO. That's what a CEO does. Jeff Bezos isn't, packaging the boxes on the assembly line and putting the stamps on them. No, he's got people doing that, right? He's delegated those responsibilities to others. Delegation, right? That's the key to this. I encourage you on Monday when you go to your office, right? On the airplane home, organize your notes, think of a plan of attack and what you're going to do on Monday, and then more importantly, learn what you're not going to do on Monday, what you're going to stop doing on Monday. That's the key, to do fewer and fewer things. That's the sweet spot. That's where you want to live, right? Again, I think time management is so important. When I speak to bar organizations, my number one topic that I talk about is time management. You've got to get that time management tight. You know, again, Jeff Bezos, he's not like willy-nilly to say like, oh, what am I doing today? He's dialed in, right? The guy's got it figured out. And so success leaves clues, and I think it's important to study successful people like him, right? This really helped me. This is a small thing. Maybe many in the room have already done that, but I did this about a year ago, and it changed my whole ball game. Like, that really allowed me to further embrace the CEO role, a really good assistant. I want my assistant to be really into spread. These are the characteristics. So I have certain traits I look for with each hire. With an executive assistant, I want someone who is really good with spreadsheets, is smart, and can really get stuff done. A really good executive assistant, you shouldn't be making your own schedule. You should not be taking unscheduled phone calls. That goes back to time management. CEO does not take unscheduled phone calls. If you do that, you're killing your time. Starting Monday, no more unscheduled phone calls. People will fall in line with that. Your staff may say, John, what the hell are you talking about? That's crazy. Well, that's what we're doing. I encourage you to do it. Your firm will grow when you do those little things. Hiring an executive assistant is one of those big things. So we talked about delegation. It's not just Chris Earley delegating to Sarah. This is about Sarah delegating to John, John's delegating to Andy, or whoever it is, right? I want a culture of delegation. This is the aspiration, right? That's what we want, a well-run machine, a well-oiled machine. So I'm not the only one delegating. Everyone is delegating, but you are empowering your team to delegate. You're empowering your team to delegate. I call it downstream, right? For lack of a better word, right? We're delegating things, so we're flowing the work. There's a culture of production. I'll get into that in a second. Stuff's getting done. All right, only have a few direct reports. I have a couple people that just responsible that come to me. You can't have 12 people line up at the door asking, hey, what should I do about this? Or hey, I have this issue. No, like, you should have a few people that come to you on a rhythmic cycle that are times to have high-level opportune discussions. Only have a few direct reports. Very, very important. All right, step 4, we talked about production, right? A well-running law firm needs to have high-level production, and that comes down to accountability, right? So everyone in my firm is accountable. Everyone's got KPIs, and no one in my law firm can hide from the KPIs. Everyone knows the score. They know what they have to produce, because we're not just like freewheeling, like trying to figure stuff out. We're locked in, we're dialed in, and I hold them to that. And this is one of the ways I hold them to their production is, again, everyone has a few KPIs. Some departments, it's been a troubling thing, someone who answers the phone, that's a tough KPI to, missed calls, that's a KPI that comes on, but it's really hard sometimes on certain positions, but attorneys, paralegals, case managers, legal assistants, super important. Measure what their KPI production should be and hold them to account. This has really changed my law firm. I encourage you to start doing this out already. I stole this from Mike Morse. It's a scoreboard, it's a jumbotron, right? When you go to a sports event, everyone knows the score. Everyone knows where people stand. Each morning, we have a morning huddle for 7 minutes. All right, that's something I stole from Pilma. I've been doing huddles for years now. A morning huddle is really important. So the scoreboard I publish on Tuesday mornings for the team. We have a virtual huddle because we're a hybrid law firm, and I publish everyone's production numbers. It's not to smoke people out and embarrass them. It's to smoke out people who perhaps are falling short and they need to pick it up. And if people are at where they need to be, they know to stay on track, right? But everyone knows where we're headed. We have monthly goals, weekly goals, and each Tuesday morning a scoreboard literally lights up and tells us where we're at. Step 5 is to speed up cash flow, right? We're business owners that are in the business of providing legal services, right? Business owners first, attorney second. That's how I view this thing, right? So the more I take off my attorney role, the more I embrace the CEO role. It changes my whole perspective. We talked about mindset at the start. Well, that's what this is, speeding up cash flow for this organization. That's what this is. It's the business entity. How do we speed up cash flow? Reduce internal constraints. This is really important. This is like a nuanced thing that I would really encourage you to write down. Reduce internal constraints. What is happening in your law firm that's slowing down you getting the cash and putting it in the bank? There's a lot of stuff holding your law firm back from making that faster, right? Internal constraints. A really good book. I'm going to give you 10 book suggestions that have helped move my career a lot. And one of them is The Lean Law Firm. If anyone's read The Lean Law Firm, raise your hand. Really good book. The basic premise is continuous improvement, right? The principle of Kaizen, small, continuous daily improvement. Each and every day we're getting a little bit better. You need to identify, right now I'm working with Mickey Love. Mickey's been fantastic. She's been humongous in helping me. She's one of my 4 coaches, helped me dial in on what I need to focus on. So we're really looking at the data, the numbers, but we're really crunching in on what are the internal constraints, because once you start measuring the intervals, the micro intervals, you realize how much things are taking and delaying you from getting the money, putting it into the bank so you can reinvest it into TV marketing, billboards, things like that. All right, we talked about intervals. There's so many intervals. I have 75, I have almost 100 metrics I track in my law firm, and they grow each day. I'm a numbers nerd, but these are some of the things I track to speed things up, right? We're trying to move cases forward. We don't want cases to languish. Clients want their money. We want to get them paid. So we track these things, as well as about 95 other metrics that have been very important in running the firm like a business. So I was a hack for like 15 years. I was just a lawyer, running a law. I was the technician, running to court, stumbling, fumbling. It's amazing I never got sued. Like, it's a total miracle, but thank God I never got sued or had any issues. But the more I got dialed in on that, the better it's been. These are some books I would suggest. These have been really helpful for me in growing my law firm and thinking bigger. I'll tell you, every time I go on an airplane, I go to these things, I learn. I encourage you, go to this stuff. Like, go to these events. Like, this stuff really is worth it. You go to a hotel, you're in a hotel room thinking. Last night, I'm boring, so I just stayed in all night. I just wrote down my notes, sort of scheming. What are we going to do next week, right? Always driving that next implementation, that next plan. But I would definitely encourage you, as an aside, definitely get a coach, a business coach. Who here is working with a coach right now, business coach? All right, not a lot. I encourage everyone, right? Get a coach. They'll force you to level up. And then when you get to, you keep growing, get a second coach, right? That's been really instrumental in my firm's growth. In my professional development, because if I'm not growing, my firm isn't growing. If my firm isn't growing, people are going to jump off the bus and go somewhere else where they can be growing. I don't want that. So I got my A players. I want to keep them on the bus. That falls on me to make sure I'm always challenging myself to grow, so my firm grows, my people grow along with me, and everybody wins. I encourage you to scan this and get in my attorney newsletter. I write prolifically to attorneys. I write for the American Bar Association. I'll give you each and every week in your inbox a practice tip of the week. I know a bunch of guys and gals in this room are on this list. These tips will make you money. It'll give you freedom from your firm, because I know a lot of people in here are parents. Figure out what you want to do. Like, I know what I want to do, and that is, as I said, go away for a month, 2 months with my family to Europe, and I don't even check in on my law firm because it's running, right? That's what this is about. So get on my newsletter. I'm going to share all the stuff that I've learned at conferences, speaking with lawyers. I'm going to give you my American Bar Association column each and every month. I'm going to hit you with a lot of free content, and I hope it helps you in your quest to grow your own firm. But I think, if I could just impress upon you one final thing, I'm short on time, is get really focused on what you're all about, like what's your why. Like, I'm dialed in on being a parent. I didn't have a father growing up, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be the dad that I never had, so I'm very dialed in on my business serving my family, because for years I was serving the business. Now the business serves me, and that has helped us grow. So I encourage you, figure out what it is you like to do, what you don't want to do, and stop doing what you don't want to do. Stop doing that to which limits your ability to get from life all that you want, because we have a short turn on this planet. Get really dialed in. Again, for me, it's my family. That's my why. That's why I'm on this stage. That's why I speak, because it helps my family, right? These things compound. So again, daily habits, golden habits. Do things that compound your mission, your desire to get everything you can. I'm telling you, like, I'm nothing special here. I had average LSAT, went to an average law school. I grew up bizarre circumstances, and here I am. And it's not special, but it requires the work. Do a little bit each day, and things compound. I talk about Kaizen, small daily improvements each and every day. That's really what's helped me. So get on my newsletter. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Literally, like, grab me in the hallway. Let's talk. I want to talk with you. I'm a geek at this stuff. I'm a nerd at the business of law. I love this stuff. This is my happy place. This is my playground. I love it. Let's start a relationship. I'd love to talk with you. I'd love to refer you cases and geek out with you and talk with you, learn about what you're all about in your practice. Join Pilm if you don't remember. Ken's been magnificent. He's magnificent to give me the stage. The only reason I got the stage was I kept asking him for it. And so you need to ask for things in this life, right? Don't be shy. Don't pull your punches. Ask for things and you'll get them. I asked him after a few times, okay, fine, you'll speak, okay. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate you. That's it. Thank you, guys. Thank you.